Hey everybody, it's time for another new video. So as you can see, I have a Jeep WJ with 35-inch tires on them. And so part of the consequence of once you start running a really big tire like that is you inevitably will hit a bump or flex your suspension, and you'll immediately crush your windshield washer reservoir off the vehicle. So today we're going to be doing kind of a common mod that's within the WJ community of taking a reservoir from a Jeep CJ and swapping it into the WJ. So for added context, this is the original reservoir that's used in the WJ. So this is what goes inside your driver's side fender, and the neck just sticks up through the front towards the grill. This is the ZJ one, and so I will include all the part numbers in the description, as well as probably links. But in case I'm having difficulties making links again, here's the part number for the reservoir, and then here's the part number for the pump. Again, this is just assuming you don't have any of these parts already. You could totally reuse the original pump and then also your sensor detecting how much fluid you have left from your original install. But mine was so catastrophic when I had 35s. I completely destroyed the harness for pretty much all my pumps and including the sensor. So I had to buy all brand new stuff. So if you're in the same position as I am, there's a part number. I didn't buy the part for actually getting how much fluid is in my reservoir. Honestly, I just did it as a cost saving thing. I really don't care how much is in there. But anyways, yeah, we can go ahead and get to the install. So if you have a Jeep Grand Cherokee that's past, I believe it's the 2001 series, you actually have some room to work and put this install. So mine's an 04. So within the space of in front of the brake booster, there's a void area. Just by moving a couple things around in here and relocating this bracket somewhere else and extending the wires so that way you can actuate the pumps from back here, you can have it fully functioning. So kind of your first step is just relocating this evap system here. So I'm going to go ahead and just taking this, and just for simplicity, all you have to do is you can just remove this and you can just put it to the side. And then this, you just have to remove off of your fender. And then also there's another second 10 millimeter that's going to be directly underneath that. All right, so now you can go ahead and just prepare your actual ZJ tank. All you have to do is once you get the new pump, literally they just slide right in. There's just the inlet you just press into the reservoir. And so you just press it in, and now we're gonna actually try mounting into the Jeep. All right, so you can see I just loosely put it in there for now, but you can see it fits actually really well once you actually remove that bracket. So for my case, I'm just gonna be drilling a hole through here and just putting a screw and a nut directly through here, so that way it's really easy just to take out if I ever need to. And then also doing the same thing in the back, just so that way it's mounted up against the fender really well. All right, so I went ahead and had that mounted. So next step now is actually moving the wires from where the original placement was and just now moving it and putting it into the new pumps. And so the previous location is, if you just look down this void inside where your old funnel was, you can see your wires. And in my case, I just tied them up just so that way I didn't end up destroying them with my tires. So you can see these are the original harnesses here. So I'm gonna remove my zip tie and go ahead and start the process of moving them through this hole within the fender and just moving it back to here to the pumps. All right, so now the next step is to lengthen out the wires. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna go and cut the harness a couple inches back, so probably where my finger is, and then just go ahead and splice in some new length of wire, so that way I can actually run it back to close to where the brake booster is. So that way we can have functioning motor. So you can see here, I just went ahead and made a simple red bud connection. I'm gonna go ahead and also use some heat shrink tubing so that way I can fully lock it in. Should be away from the elements because this is gonna be more closely tucked inside the engine bay, but still just to protect it. Now we're just gonna repeat the exact same process with the actual harness side, just using some red butt connectors on the end of here and connecting it to the extended wire and then plugging into the motor. All right, so you can see I went ahead and made the splice on my cables, connected back up the harness. So now we can go ahead and connect this back towards the motor side. You'll notice too that you had to remove your actual lines that go directly to the nozzles. So on the Grand Cherokee, you're gonna have two of them. One's gonna go towards the rear wiper motor, one's gonna go towards the front. I already connected the front one into one of the motors. And so I'm gonna go ahead and now just simply plug this in. Now, as you can see, it's plugged in. So this is a very similar process for the other sensors. So you're also gonna find obviously another harness that's gonna be used for, again, the rear wiper motor. And then also you're gonna have a third harness you gotta extend out, and that goes towards the rear of your tank as well. That's for monitoring your level within the reservoir. I'm just gonna skip past that. Again, it's the exact same process as we just did towards the front. And so once you do after that, you can go ahead and confirm now that your nozzles actually spray. All right, and I went ahead, put everything back in together, and put some fluid inside my reservoir. So check for leaks, got no leaks or anything. So now we're just on the point to verify that the nozzles actually have water that come out of them and the wiring to the pump is actually correct. I don't see any issues of why not, but we can go ahead and verify. All right, so we can go ahead and verify that now. So we're gonna just go ahead and press down on my windshield wiper nozzle, and as you can see, worked perfectly good. That's it for this video. So a lot more projects ahead in the future for this vehicle and many others. Hopefully next up, we can get an A-arm swapped on the rear. Completely destroyed from the winter weather here out here in Ohio. Hopefully in the spring, moving on to changing out all sorts of different parts on my WRX. The WRX, I already have a whole bunch of parts already just sitting in the car waiting to be installed. It's just, honestly, it's been super cold lately out here in Ohio. And as you can see, I'm working out of a small barn with no heating. So working with what I got here. So anyways, that's it for this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to give me a like. It does help every little bit for me making more videos. And yeah, that's kind of it. So any leftover remaining things is just probably just zip tying this down to something else, just so that way it doesn't really have the risk of popping off these evap lines from the canister. In the future, I plan on just getting like an L bracket and then reusing the same factory bracket and maybe along the firewall somewhere. That's a problem for another day. I'm just happy I actually got to be able to use windshield wiper fluid again.